We're back with Jets reporter Nick Faria. Nick, napgate. Your thoughts?
Oh man.
Now people can hear you. Give us your thoughts on napgate.
Look, it's not that serious, number one. And number two, I have been looking at this video now for over a day. I've zoomed in, I've zoomed out, I've tried to see where everything is. It looks to me like he's looking at a tablet and he's looking at his phone and his eyes are just looking down. You see that a couple of times at the combine specifically where they're just looking down. I'm looking at the picture here. I'm not saying that the eyes are wide open.
Come closer to me, by the way.
No, that's fine. But it looks like, as I'm looking on the tablet, it looks like he's looking down. I can't tell.
Yeah, but his eyes are clearly closed. It's funny.
But it looks like
the way he reacted is not how you react if you're not like quickly dozing off that, like, oh, that shock. We've all been there.
No, I get that. But also, he was also looking around. I saw that as someone who was alert and understood what was going on. If he looked like groggy or anything like that, that's something different. It literally looked like he was just looking down at his tablet and he was trying to find where everything was.
So you don't actually think he dozed off?
No, I don't.
Wow,
I don't.
You're such a Jet homer.
Jet homer.
Yeah.
Good. Come on,
You're
man.
trying to get in the good graces of Aaron Glenn. Oh, he wasn't napping. He was looking at his tablet.
Well, it looked like he was looking down.
And again, I have no problem with it because the combine, it is boring. All right. The fun stuff is the rumors and the press conferences and catching up with old friends.
It's a lot, of course.
Watching David Bailey run in a straight line to get his 40 time. They could just tell Glenn what his 40 time was.
So again, quote unquote, was he alert at the time? Because I thought people were saying he was up when David Bailey did his run.
No. He was alerted. Hey, you're on TV. Wake up. Just as David Bailey was about to run.
Oh my God, this is going to be just an absolute talking point for the next 3 months. This is the part of the NFL offseason where I just
it means I don't think it's a big deal at all. I think the superpower comment is a way bigger deal because you're putting the target on your back. If it doesn't work, you're gone because you can't say it's my superpower and then the defense stinks.
How can you call me a Jets homer if I yesterday said that he hasn't learned? He hasn't learned from his biggest mistake. Stay out of the media. These legitimate topics of just throwing stuff out there.
Can I take it back? You're not a Jet homer. You're an Aaron Glenn bootlicker.
Well, he's a bootlicker, Glenn butt sniffer, putting perfume on a pig and telling Jake, check his say he's a bootlicker, Aaron Glenn truther, holding out a rope and trying to sell us on this shit show.
Nick Faria trying to sell us on this bleep show.
But again, it's not like I didn't sit here yesterday at around this time saying he hasn't learned from his mistake. He should just keep his mouth shut. There was no reason for him to talk about a superpower and put himself in the airwaves again and talk about himself in the headlines. These are the things he needs to improve on, and he clearly hasn't. So I wouldn't say bootlicker. I wouldn't say homer. I think it's just very clearly this is not something that is over the top, needs to be scrutinized as it has out in the city now.
Here's the thing that you need to understand about Aaron Glenn. His dozing off for 10 seconds, that gave him the energy he needs to have his superpowers. Like Glenn dozing off for 10 seconds is like you or I getting an 8 hours full night of sleep.
He's just ready to go. We're going to see him flying through the air in a couple hours.
I'm just telling you, man.
Good Lord.
All right. The sleep gate. Something else. Some other things I want to hit on with you. The Jets report card came out, or it was leaked, which you would expect. And Woody Johnson's grade went from an F a year ago to, as you'll see on the screen, went to a B. Team ownership, a B. So Woody Johnson, who was the owner spearheading the NFL to basically get the NFLPA through legal action to no longer publicly release their report cards, even though we all know it will still be leaked to a reporter who will put it out there.
Everyone knew that was going to happen.
Woody Johnson, an F a year ago, he's up to a B. Muji got an A-. Glenn got an A. Team travel for the Jets, B+. Banjo, A. DC, I don't know how Wilkes gets a B+, kind of invalidates the list. Offensive coordinator, B-.
What do we do?
How does Wilkes have a higher grade than Tanner? I mean, what are we doing?
But it could mean a number of different things too. Like these are the grades based on communication, how they operate certain meeting rooms. It is not based on production and how they play on the field. This is purely a player list on how they feel the person is when it comes to communicating, taking into account the requests and sort of the comments that are made. I'm not sitting here defending that Wilks is probably a B+ coordinator, but that's not what this list is saying. This is just merely saying that the players respected a guy like Steve Wilks, respected a guy like Aaron Glenn. So I think part of this list we have to take into account. I mean, I'm hearing people that are like, "Oh, this list is bogus. It's bogus." We can't have it both ways here. We can't go after the Jets and heavily criticize them when they have terrible grades like they did last year, but then clearly have made incremental improvements, but then say that the list is bogus. Clearly, there are some improvements being made structurally.
Well,
but
Woody
they have to happen
Johnson
on the
spent
field.
Woody spent the fortune on a renovated locker room.
But that's the thing. Like, he's clearly trying to improve in different aspects, but it doesn't matter to fans until it shows up on the win column. But to sit here and say that this list is bogus, I think is just disingenuous, because it just means that you're not really interested in seeing the team improve in certain aspects. You just want to see the team improve on the field, which is fair. But then don't sit here and call a list like this that it's purely player-run bogus like that.
I just think it's hilarious that home game field, this is not, home field advantage, Jet fans. This is strictly talking about the MetLife turf.
Yeah, it's
F-.
But I think we all understand that part, and that's a very fair grade. The MetLife turf has changed a lot of careers to this point, and it's really unfortunate because the way that I understand it, the World Cup is coming to MetLife, and they're bringing in grass. There's no reason why this can't be the case for Jets and Giants games.
Well, the Jets and Giants will tell you, whoa, since we both play at the same stadium, there wouldn't be any time for the grass to get a week or two where it's not being played on. If the Giants have a home game and then the Jets the next week.
Works for the Rams and the Chargers.
No.
Come on. It works. If it works for the Rams and Chargers, there should be no excuse.
And again, I will defend the Jets for the second year in a row. Their facilities are incredible. Last year they got bashed for that. That to me was ridiculous. The Jets have state-of-the-art facilities. So
it's such a great, their entire office, the practice fields, everything about it. It is just a picture perfect. It's exactly what you want a team to have. So again, this is not me saying that everything is fixed for New York, but there were clearly structural issues that needed to be addressed, and Woody Johnson addressed them. This isn't to say that he's the best owner in football. This isn't to say that he's the worst owner in football. He's addressing some of these concerns, and if they start winning, then yes, the outlook of this team is going to change.
Thinking is overrated.
Look, thinking is overrated, Nick. All right. But a B for Woody Johnson. So shout out to Woody. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. If you're tuning in, every membership is double. This is our last live show from the Combine. I'm doing a special Saturday show for the Asmaniac raffle. Sign Namath helmet, sign Revis helmet, sign Garrett Wilson football. Your chance to win all that. So make sure you enter. At end of the show, we will do a raffle for a jersey of your choosing. Keyshawn, Mangold, Revis, Corbett, Curtis Martin, Joe Klecko, Joe Namath are your choices. Let me shout out Ray Adams. Ray, I don't know if I already shouted you out. I might have. My brain is fried from being here. So, Ray, either way, this is you. Let's go. I need to Aaron Glenn nap it up. Ray, you are in for 10 because everything's double. Christopher's in for 2. He became a channel member. Thank you, Christopher Leon. Eric Kelly with the super chat. Can you imagine if we pass on Bailey and he's amazing? All we're going to hear about is Glenn should have been paying attention to his performance. Who cares, Eric? Imagine they pass on Reese and he's amazing and they took Bailey. Yeah. Get the pick right. Again, Glenn dozing off slightly for David Bailey's 40 time when you just need the number of how fast he ran. That's all that matters. And again, Glenn needed to recharge. When he dozes off for 10 seconds, he then gets 8 hours of sleep. I wish I had that superpower.
Look, I will say this. A player's future success in the NFL is not based on his scouting combine 40 time. We've seen plenty of times where players have an unbelievable 40 and they go into the NFL and then they really struggle. So this is not the make or break moment. It will not be in a month or two. I do think right now, if I were a betting man, it's still probably Arvell Reese. But I know David Bailey's combine.
You were there yesterday. Did you nap it all, 1 and 2? What was it like? I know this is your first time at the combine for the drills. What was it like to actually be there?
It was incredible. And my family was there as well. We were able to sit together and kind of go through everything. just watch each individual workout. And like I said, at the beginning of the week, my dad was huge into the combine. We'd sit and watch each individual player, each individual workout. We'd have a rec league basketball game. We'd come home, immediately put on the combine. So being able to experience this with my family as well has just been an amazing event. I wish I could stay the whole weekend, but I got work to do. So that's what happens. It's one of those things, though. You're in the stadium. You're on the lower mezzanine level, and you're watching these players go out. And really, to me, the one thing that stood out, players are so athletic now. Oh, my God.
Well, Sonny Styles, man. Wow.
Sonny Styles is going to go top 5 just based on this combine. He was already a borderline top 10 player. I think this performance is going to put him in the top 5, and it is insane how good he was. But to think about it, there wasn't a single linebacker yesterday that ran a sub 4.7. Everything was 4.6 and higher. It was absolutely insane, the athleticism that these guys play with. And, of course, we mentioned Arvell Reese. We mentioned David Bailey. I don't think the Jets are going to be disappointed with either selection. Bailey or Reese are plug-and-play day one players.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Veterans Jet fan says, Faria fell asleep with that black hair dye in his hair. You don't dye your hair, do you?
Of course not. Black hair dye.
Yeah, I was like, I don't think Nick dyes his hair.
Absolutely not. Listen, man, I'm Portuguese. My hair has been the case, and of course it's falling out, but that's hereditary. It's what happens.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Common Country checks in. He is in the raffle because $5 super chats today will get you in the raffle. It's our last show before the weekly raffle, which will be tomorrow, but we are going to give away a Jets jersey at the end here. Good job, Common Country. He writes in, have you heard any free agent rumors similar to that of Fields from last year? So last year, it felt like leaving Indy, everyone knew the Jets were going to go after Fields. It was like the worst kept secret. I must admit, I'm leaving Indy today, and I don't have strong conviction one way or another who the quarterback targets are going to be at this point, because I genuinely believe the Jets don't know yet.
No, the Jets have no idea what they're going to do, and that's okay as
Remember,
well.
Frank Reich got hired a lot later than other teams who had openings for coordinators got hired. So he's still probably getting up to speed on all the options.
And the other thing is this. We don't know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. He could be released in a week. I mean, we don't know what's going to happen with Tanner McKee if Philadelphia's actually going to be willing to trade him. We don't know what's going to happen to a lot of these guys. Quite frankly, the Jets don't know. And that's the thing. You're hearing we've heard rumors all week about every single player under the sun. I've heard Kyler. I've heard Tanner McKee. I've heard drafting Ty Simpson. I've heard trading up. I've heard trading down. They don't know. And that's perfectly okay, because last year they were hell-bent on getting Justin Fields, and it blew up in their face. They are being far more patient now on the open market, far more patient in the trade market. They're going to allow the market to come to them. And I think that is the smart thing to do within the next month or so.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Amanda Madison checks in. She's in the raffle now. Let's go.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we hear you. We see you. AG dozing off is a bad look for the Jets, and it'll be mean to ton if the Jets have another embarrassing season. But for now, who cares? Safe travel home, Jake. Wow, very nice of you, Amanda. Again, Glenn, in a span of about 3 days, has given us an incredible amount of meme-worthy content.
Play call is my superpower, really.
Yes, between that and napgate, if the Jets think, yes, this will be used to make fun of the Jets, but
this is going to follow him the rest of his career. If they struggle again and they move on from him, this is going to follow the superpower comment. This whole snafu, it is going to be following him for the rest of his career.
And again, at the end of the day, if they win, it will be funny
nothing.
and we love it. Like Rex Ryan's "Let's go eat a goddamn snack" speech is legendary in Jet history. Why? Because they were good. They went to the AFC Championship game the year they did Hard Knocks, and it became like a legendary thing. Like that is the best case scenario.
Sure.
It's that Glenn, napping is like this provided the energy for him to be good.
Well, but also there could very well be a case where the team sort of galvanizes towards Aaron Glenn. Very clearly, players like him. He was graded at an A from last year, so they appreciate the accountability. They appreciate the leadership style that he has. That's everything that I've heard from the locker room. And if he's able to come in and show improvement, and we talked about this, I think, a couple of days ago, Jake, what is improvement to the Jets? If they get to 7 wins and and a majority of their losses are close one-score games. The product on the field is different.
If they win 7 and the defense is a big reason why, a la what Salah did without the quarterback, then maybe he could survive.
But that's also where quality of play also matters. If they're going in and they're losing games 16-12, 20-16, but they're in these games at the end, and you can clearly tell they just need their next future franchise quarterback, that changes the conversation around what Aaron Glenn can do. It changes the outlook of the franchise, because it does take sometimes 2-3 years to get these things done. People want the Washington Commanders run where it's 1 year and you're already in the conference championship game. But what people don't tend to realize is what happens in year 2 and afterwards. You have a big first year. It's really hard to replicate that. If you're building progressively, that is where you see the long-term trajectory. I guarantee you right now, the Washington Commanders are not exactly that confident right now in their coaching staff after last season. That was a disaster. And it was all based on the fact that they hired old coaches, they brought in older players, and all of them got hurt, and the coaching staff regressed, and their quarterback got hurt, and all those things together kind of look back and say, well, yeah, you had a great year. You went to the conference championship. It's the best year you've had in decades. But then the very next year, you were one of the worst teams in football.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But there's also like the Denver example where Sean Payton took the 5th quarterback that year. Year 1, he was there with Russell Wilson. He went 8-9, then got his quarterback, made the playoffs in year 2. Year 3, they're in the AFC Championship game, would have been in the Super Bowl if Bo Nix was healthy.
I think, look, that's also very fair, but you could also be somewhere in the middle.
Well, the Texans, 3 straight years, made the playoffs. Year 2 of Dave Canales with the Panthers. Oh, David Tepper's the worst owner in sports now. Made the playoffs.
The Panthers are another great example. The Panthers, you look at the Lions, where you have to. This is the big year. I am not arguing that Aaron Glenn has to have a massive jump.
But my point is, if they look awful again, it can't be, well, he gets year 3 because, it takes time to turn things around.
Completely agree.
No, man. It doesn't take as much time as people are led to believe in the modern NFL to be good.
I made it very
Look
clear.
at the Patriots.
I don't disagree with that.
The Bears, Jacksonville, Trevor Lawrence was a bust until Liam Cohen showed up.
I'm not arguing with any of that. What I am saying is I think it's fair for them to give him that second year. The third, this is the year where you cannot go 4 wins. You cannot get 5 wins. You have got to show progression, not just in the win column, but in quality of play. If you get wins like they did against Cincinnati last year, where it was just weird stuff happening game in and game out, and that's how you're able to do it, and you finish 6-11, 7-10. It's a hard conversation to bring Aaron Glenn back. But if the quality of play is improved and the win total has improved, and you're clearly seeing, okay, they're building something, we're getting to that point, the argument makes it a little bit easier for ownership and for the organization to keep them.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Nick Faria is with us here. If you have any questions about the Jets this week, Nick is certainly one of the guys you want to talk to. Let's see. M123 wants to know, did I buy Nick blue cheese crusted steak? We didn't have the blue cheese crusted there.
It's perfectly okay, man. We had a great steak dinner. That one, what was it, 2 days ago? I went home and collapsed.
I had a great steak lunch yesterday.
Yeah, well, good God. What an unbelievable turn of events. Just walking in. I got the strip. I received the ribeye. Can I get another one?
It was
for free.
Unreal. Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Tyrone Garcia in the house. He's in the raffle for 4. I work 10-hour days as a manager and drive 1 hour to work. I fall asleep in front of my computer at least 2 times a day. Again, we've all been there. The combine, I know some football nerds love it. I get it, but they're running in a straight line. I'm defending Aaron Glenn here. All right. His superpower is in 10 seconds of dozing off. It's 8 hours of sleep.
I still think he was looking down.
He was not looking down. You could zoom in and see his eyes are clearly shut.
I was zooming in, and it looked like he was clearly just looking down. And again, I'm not saying that his eyes weren't drooping, but very clearly it was like, okay, he's looking at his tablet. He's looking here, looking there. I don't know.
Dude. Looking at his tablet. He might have initially been looking at his tablet, but his eyes ultimately were shut. They were closed. You could see it. Look at this. You could see it. Those eyes are closed.
Right there, the eye trajectory is clearly he's looking down.
Hey, look at his eyes. Then they open. He blinks. You see the full blinkage. Look. Ready? Here we go. Watch this. Little slow-mo here. This is like NFL replay. Right there. Right. Boom.
But whoa, hold on. You don't see the blinkage. You see his eyes slowly come up.
Watch it. Here we go. Come on.
Oh, man, come on. The slow motion's telling me he's looking down. Because normally if you're like snapping back into reality, you see like the eyes closed, but you see the blink.
But he had that jump that you do when you're like, like we've all been there. You wake up from a nightmare. We've all had that.
After the eyes were already like clearly up top looking at the field. He just wasn't looking at the field to start.
I've never seen a man more asleep. But again, I don't blame him.
Look, we've seen plenty of coaches fall asleep at this thing too. This is not the first time that's happened.
I don't. Again, want to criticize Aaron Glenn? He went 3-14 in his first year.
That is,
He started 0-7.
Started the combine with play calling is my super. I can't believe that was the start today. I can't believe that was the start to the press conference. Just this is my superpower.
Ladies and gentlemen, Addison has checked in, host of the highly acclaimed Addy Show, been a channel member for 23 months. He says, "Don't talk about someone losing hair, or there'll be hell to pay." Dun-dun-dun.
I can't get excited for any ball joke. It's coming. I've made peace with it. It's happened.
The ball is in. We should just go for it. Why not?
My wife will not allow me to.
Really?
My wife is like, you will let you when it happens naturally, then we'll do it.
Why not? Bald looks good. We've had some callers like the great Chuck Wagon decide with some encouragement from this community, just go bald.
Listen, you got to take it up with Britt. That's all.
Britt, I know you're watching right now. Let this man just be bald if he wants. I think it will look good. Chat, should Nick go full bald? Should I run a poll?
It's going to be like 90-10.
But would you do it if like she gave permission?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I think it will look good.
But here's the other thing. But this is my wife. If my wife's telling me no, you look good as it is, I'm not fucking changing anything. Excuse me. Bleep me out. I'm not changing a thing. It's I don't want to change if my wife is not going to be on board with that change.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. We're talking with Nick Faria here. Write in your questions. We got the raffle coming up. This is our one long show of the day. Nick, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm the only person who had the exclusive one-on-one with Ty Simpson discussing the New York Jets.
Hey, Ty, what was the Jet meeting like for you?
It was cool. It was really cool. I got to talk to Frank Wright and Coach Glenn and those guys. We just got to work ball, and they're the best. So if I had the opportunity to play for them, it would be awesome.
There's a ton of Jet fans who are huge fans of yours. What's your message to the Jet fans in New York?
JETS, Jets.
So, listen, it's a great interview. But are we going to play the clip at the podium?
JETS, Jets.
I heard that, and I heard pick 16 to the New York Jets.
Oh, I heard pick 16.
JETS, Jets.
That was unprompted. He knew the chant. And listen,
I mean, he knew the chant. I mean, everyone knows the chant.
Yeah, sure.
It's one of the most famous chants in sports.
Sure. I will say, right now, the Jets are going to be in the conversation of looking at quarterbacks. They've met with pretty much every prospect out there. This feels like absolute possibility at 16. I think if Ty Simpson comes out and lights it up at the combine and has a really good workout period, I think the argument, he's already going to be a first-round pick, but the question is he going to go in the 20s to a team like Pittsburgh, or is he going to go in the teens? I could see a situation right now happening where if he lights it up tomorrow, he could be the 16th overall pick to the Jets.
As much as I appreciate him taking the time to talk with me, I still would not take him at 16. I would much prefer, if the Jets are going to do it, they do it at 33 or don't do it at all. Or,
I think
44 in an ideal world.
I think he'll be far gone by then, even well before 33. I don't think he's going to get by Pittsburgh if he gets to that point, because Pittsburgh needs an answer long term at the quarterback position. But then, so the other piece is this, right? I would agree with you and say if you're the Jets, you take a receiver before the quarterback this year, because you're essentially just telling yourself, listen, punt the quarterback conversation in 2027. Whether it's Kyler, whether it's McKee, whether it's Brissett, whether it's any one of these guys, punt the conversation in 2027. Surround the quarterback with top talent right now. I will tell you, the one guy I spoke to today as part of the podium, Mekhi Lemon, the USC kid, absolutely awesome. He was talking about wanting targets and balancing wanting targets and also being a team player, learning how to block. It blew me away because he literally said, well, you look at Amon-Ra St. Brown, sometimes he's not going to have 10 catches, 11 catches. but he's going to do the things that are needed to help his team win, whether that's blocking downfield and opening up a hole for a big-time score, whether it's taking a double team and allowing Sam Laporta to be open for a touchdown. Does all the things right that you want to see from a team leader. The fact that you had a rookie coming in and saying, I'm going to do whatever they want me to do to help this team win. My job is to win football games and help these teams win. It doesn't matter if I'm getting 10 or 11 touches. That is significant because you rarely see that today in the National Football League. So Mekhi Lemon, to me, is someone probably at 16 right now. I know he's been mocked a couple of times. If you're the Jets and you're deciding between Lemon and someone like Simpson, I think you have to take Lemon at this point.
Well, Lemon, I don't think will be there at 16. If he is, you run the card in.
Yeah,
there are people that have him as their number one wide receiver. I believe Jeremiah has him number one.
Carnell Tate, though, is good. I think he's going to be the number one receiver. There's going to be these receivers this year are very talented. It is not like the 2024 class, but it is supremely talented across the board. You could see a situation where Lemon's the first receiver off. I could see a situation where he's third because it depends on Tyson's measurables, what he looks like in terms of the combine, what happens with him and his health. So there's still a lot of questions that need to be answered, but I do think there's a path for him being there at 16.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. I'm seeing my Ty Simpson video is blown up. Barstool shared it. Whistle, U Stadium shared it. This thing is everywhere, man. Ty Simpson.
It happens, man.
His Jet champ virginity has officially been taken.
Could you imagine if he gets drafted at 16 and he gets this team to like 8-9 wins?
I mean, the thing is, if you take him at 16, when does he actually get in and play?
Oh, yeah. I don't think you should play him this year, but even still, just the
But there's
idea.
people like Chris Sims who tell me, look, he needs to play. Like, I believe as a former quarterback, the only way you get better is by playing.
That's a gamble.
If he's ready to play.
Well, if he's
Jackson
ready,
Dart was ready to play. Everyone said he needed a year.
Russell Wilson was ready to play, too. These guys that everyone thought wouldn't be ready and then comes out and all suddenly they're the best quarterback of their class or one of the best in that case. So, yeah, listen, it happens either or. You have the Patrick Mahomes type where they sit a year and it works out beautifully for them because you allow them to just learn the game on the sidelines. You also have the Josh Allens of the world where you just throw them out in the fire and they really struggle, but then they learn from those mistakes and they get incrementally better. There's no proven science to this. It's just a matter of wherever the Jets go at the quarterback position, they need to make sure the offensive line is protected and making sure that they're healthy and they have enough depth in there to survive. And then also the receiving room is good enough to supply this quarterback with plenty of weapons.
Comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. All right, last question for you, Nick. The New York Jets, if the draft was held right now, they select who at 2 and who at 16.
So I will say right now it's Arvell Reese at 2, Mekhi Lemon at 16.
And you actually think Lemon makes it?
I think he makes it. And the other reason for it, we could be getting a historical draft for Ohio State. 4 players in the top 10. That is on the table here. And then when you think about all these 4 Ohio State guys, and then you think about Love, the running back from Notre Dame, and then you think about Tyson, and then you put in Fernando Mendoza, and then you think about all these other guys. We haven't even gotten to the offensive linemen yet. There is a path here that I think Mekhi Lemon gets to 16. And I will say, people were arguing with me about Olu Fashanu back in, 2024. They didn't think Fashanu would be available at 10. And he was there. These things are tricky because you're trying to project where certain teams are going to be after before free agency starts. So we've got a long way to go before we can really analyze where each team is going to go. I do one mock draft a year, and it's the day before the NFL draft. For that particular reason, there's just too much information that we don't know right now. There's too many variables we're just predicting at this point. But right now, if I'm a betting man, if I'm making that prediction, Lemon falls to 16, Reese is taken at 2, and you're looking at arguably one of the better first-round drafts for the Jets they've made in a little bit.
Remember when you said Fernando Mendoza gun to your
Happens,
head?
Man.
Wasn't going to go number 1? You'd be dead right now.
I am dead. That's you're talking to the ghost of Nick Faria.
It's over. How excited are you? You don't have to drive 14 hours back. You get to get on a normal flight, hopefully on time today.
Knock on wood, normal flight. It's going to be so liberating getting home within a 2-hour window, man. I'm never doing that again. I talked to Brittany about it after the next day, and she's like, "You are never doing this again." I said, "Oh, you don't need to tell me. My body is sore. My mind is tired. Just not good all the way around."
Nick, appreciate you hopping on the show this
buddy.
week. Love your coverage. tell people where they could find it.
Yeah, Nick _ Faria 1720 Jets X Factor. You guys all know the gig. I'm here every week. Obviously, Jake, just appreciate you giving me this platform to talk. It's been a great experience. A lot of stuff that's been going on, and certainly an intriguing time to be a Jets fan. Not just because you're going to come away with probably the best non-quarterback in this draft, but you've got a head coach that really, no matter what he does, he's going to be in the media one way or another, baby.
Man, he's got superpowers. Come on.